notes, and then I'll go ahead and introduce our next speaker. One is to remember to tweet with the hashtag #IMD 2014. Some of you have been doing that. Others, feel free to go ahead and get started. The second thing is that after lunch, we're looking for some volunteers. No pressure, but we're going to have our camera crew interview some people, do testimonials about how you're finding the day, what you like, what you don't like, and so we can have a few people on film that we can use promoting this event in the future. So anyone who feels moved to do that, we'd love to have you report over to the camera once you're done with lunch. With that said, you guys are in for a real treat. Scarlet is with Gongos, and while we've heard lots about the industry challenges in the last few years, Gongos has been growing like crazy, and she's been a big part of it. She's the CMO of Gongos, so without further ado, Scarlet.
Hey everyone, yes, Brian. All right, so I'm going to start off with an admittance. And this admittance means I'm going to get raw with you. And by getting raw with you, I'm going to say I haven't rehearsed this presentation at all. Not one bit. And one of my team members is here with me who can pretty much say that's true. And the reason that I haven't had a moment to rehearse my own talk today with you is because as a marketer and brander for my company, who do I put first? My internal clients. Much like our clients have their internal clients, and you've heard them speak about that today. My internal clients, my CEO, my Vice President of Global, my Vice President of Strategy and Innovation. And we put on a day and a half event for the first time, and I'll tell you, we've worked 12-hour days for the last 10 days straight. My whole team, they're going home, they're all getting comp days, okay? I love them. They're everything to me. And I've only had them for a year, or for 3 months, one who put on this client summit. So, I'm telling you this today because I didn't not want to be here. And I know how important it is for all of you to be here. And I'm going to be present with you. I'm going to try to inspire you. And I want us to talk. And I want to open up the floor a little bit. But before I do that, I threw myself a curveball about 5 minutes ago. And I said, you know, it's one thing for me to tell them that I've been working 12-hour days for the last, actually I said a few weeks, it's been more like 5 weeks, okay? But I want to show you something that was launched because we talked a little bit about the market research industry and why I think that potentially we need to push a little beyond the data. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Last week, Monday, our company launched our 3rd business unit, okay? And what I'm going to do, this is my little curveball, bear with it, it's 2 minutes and 47 seconds. And I'm going to have to cue up this video and talk to you and see what it conjures up in you. But I wanted to show you the proof, okay?
So think of curation almost like an archipelago. Right, so you have these islands that, together they're small and disparate from one another, but together they are powerful. They form their own ecosystem. Enterprise information, sales, insights, secondary research, syndicated, all of these different things. And one of the challenges that we're all up against is that there's just information overload. What we're talking about here is a larger philosophy to really have the courage to reimagine how their department can operate within an organization.
In the research world, we talk consumers, we talk shoppers, that's the language we use, but behind those words are people. I'm a consumer too, right? I'm much more than bullet points on a slide. You can't tell my story through a PowerPoint.
We're now in this era, in this state of connectedness, right? So it's bringing in different conversations, bringing in and laddering different data points, right? Triangulating. And where we're headed is that era of curation. And it's an era that we're extremely excited about. We feel like there's a tremendous opportunity. And the difference with curation to somebody who's just integrating or telling a story is they bring a bold point of view and they see the world as it actually is.
Insights creation sits at this really cool space, which is at the intersection of strategic thinking and creative execution. So it's really the best of both. The thing I'm personally most excited about is the bigger sandbox within which we get to play. Trends, expert interviews, past research. There's really nothing that we can't bring in and analyze to tell a complete story within Artifact.
So Artifact really has the ability to be that third eye of intuition and to bring it to life at all levels. So it's no longer just about that CEO that has that deeply rooted knowledge of the business and can see things before they even happen, right? What we're doing with Artifact is bringing that intuition to life at all levels. And doing that is about preserving wisdom so that it can fuel better decision making.
So thank you for allowing me to show that. And let's just close that out right now. All right. So, yes, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about blood, sweat, and tears. A little bit of love at the end of this conversation. I hope we're going to get around to that. But indeed, you know, historically, people have thought about us, Gongos, and 24 years ago when John Gongos launched the company, had our roots in qualitative research, had our roots in automotive. Of course, we're from Michigan. He was actually from Ohio, a farm in Ohio, okay? So we started out very young, and hopefully I'll be able to take you on a little bit of a journey, and we'll get to my message at the end of this. So I think I need to probably click on this. Cue me up. All right, so the title of my presentation was Branding an Evolving Company in Extraordinary Time. What is so extraordinary about today? What's so extraordinary about today rather than 2008 and when the Industrial Revolution was happening? All right, it's not about social media for me. It's not about, you know, it's not as marketing, but we work in an industry, and I believe, and as you heard on the panel, we are in an extraordinary time in our industry today. So how do we find ourselves in this position? Oops. There we go. All right, so we believe that the market research industry has been, and historically had been, in an era of collection. We're collecting primary data. We're all in the business of using every methodology, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's now mobile, what have you, in collecting. Very, very important, okay? But we believe that about 5 to 10 years ago, we kind of moved into an era of connection, okay? Connecting all this data, triangulating these sources, whether it's primary or whether it's coming from enterprise information, okay? As an industry, we believe, and this is loosely held, okay? Gongos research you can associate with primary collection of data. That's what we're doing right now. Insights, right? Not just data. Connection O2 Integrated, we just launched a year ago, which is our data sciences as a service consultancy. So some of us in the room want to go, oh, big data. We're like, bring it on. Bring it in the mix, because it's extremely important to see what people are doing as opposed to what they're saying. Okay, and as a marketer, you gotta understand this, right? It's okay. Curate, we believe that we're in area curation. I'm not gonna go into that. We just launched the third business unit, Artifact. So as the head of marketing and branding at this company, I find myself no longer just responsible for one brand. Our logo, Gongos, is not even on there. We now have 3 brand marks and 3 equal units as a company, okay? What do we do? We're growing, everything is changing, right? So someone talked about, it's about Gongos. Well, so many people, one of my struggles as marketing is even some of our own clients only think we do primary. So as a marketer, I've got to make them believe that now we're doing other things as well. That all will feed into something a little bit larger than market research. So what's going on today that makes it extraordinary? Technology as an enabler, right? A few years ago, we were one of those companies, so yeah, we had a menu on our website, products, this, that, the other thing, right? We do mobile, we do online communities, we do this, we do that. I couldn't wait to relaunch a website that had nothing to do with our products, okay? We could do that because as a tier 1, if you will, supplier versus tier 2, to borrow some terminology from the automotive industry, We want to have consultancy level relationships, ongoing relationships with our clients. So in order for them to believe that they can trust us, for us, we had to make that shift. It's no longer just about the collection methodology. It's about the thinking and the people, which also came up too, okay? So, number 2, new players. Oh my gosh, we know this. We love dogs, right? I can't believe Hallie found this image because she has a big black dog too, but I swear it's not hers. We're now seeing plastic, you know? We are seeing these new players on our scene and they're coming on and they're coming on strong. So what do? We're traditionally been in this industry. I think we have to see them and welcome them into our industry. Across the pond and back, we talked about this global, okay? This man, is he American? Is he from Austria? Is he from New Zealand? Doesn't matter. He is a human being and we need to understand his insights and his buyer behaviors, okay? Big data is a game changer. Oh, Hadoop. How many of you know the Hadoop elephant? Anyone? Right, there you go, Susan. We do find ourselves, these guys are coming in strong, you know, and we can't hide, we can't say, no, we focus on primary and we focus on the whys and the ahas. We've got to, as an industry, learn how to combine these and learn how to, as marketers, talk, right, the new language and a new vernacular in order to represent our companies. So nothing is the same. Okay, that's an overstatement, but basically nothing is the same today, and it's a really exciting time. So I want to ask you guys, because I love this Getty quote, in times of rapid change, experience can be your worst enemy. We know this is the truth of our researchers. So I want to ask you, how many of you have worked outside the insights or market research industry before? Show of hands? A lot of you. Okay, I want to see the reverse. How many of you have only worked in marketing in the market research industry? Okay, so a little more on the other side. I'm actually here to say that I believe it's harder, I think, if you only worked in this industry. I do believe that if you've had experience from another industry that's gone through change, cable, television, free to air, digital networks, that sort of thing, you're more comfortable with change, and that could be to your advantage. That's not to say that we're not all going to navigate this change together, okay? But sometimes it's really nice to have that other point of view around you, right? I already asked you this question, okay? Very, very important. It's okay if you have only worked in the insights industry. The curse, okay. Talked about this, Dana had asked us the question on the panel. What is different about marketing for market researchers or market research companies than it is, marketing for an accounting firm or, I don't know, something that maybe touches consumers, okay? Those on the periphery of marketing forget about themselves often. We know it, we can do it, we'll get there. We'll make the right decision eventually. But if you didn't do the own research and invested in your brand, like you tell your own clients that you have to do, then maybe you're not, eating or taking your own medicine, so to speak. All right? So I actually want to go back to what was our 20-year anniversary and show you where we were at. Whoopsie.
Ultimately, our goal is not to be big. Our goal is to be great. We never really took our brand seriously up to that point. We were a marketing research company that did not pay attention to marketing our own company.
We were so busy just doing research and running and trying to get the clients, trying to do the research and doing the best that we could. However, as we grew, we started realizing that, my goodness, we have something really special here, and it would be great to tell the world about it.
And when we brought Susan, I think she brought a level of focus, and she taught me a lot about PR that I knew nothing about, and she cared about the brand, and she explained to us how everything we touch projects our brand.
In 2007, when we first made the Michael list, that meant being on the top 50 U.S. market research firms, it was a huge pinnacle in the life of this company. And John certainly knew what that meant, but not everyone else really did.
I think
It was when I recently went to a convention and I told somebody I was with Gongos Research and I thought their mouth was going to drop to the floor. It's like, okay, what did I say? Did I say something offensive? And they said, oh, you look at this, all the sought after strategy that's been put in place, and that our brand is being recognized. I mean, it's like, oh, aha. I mean, I guess we were right.
All right, so I show you that video only to say, 3.5 years ago, John Gongos is now passed, bless his soul. But only 3.5 short years ago, our own people were surprised that we'd go to a show and people would actually know us, you know, because I don't have much budget. 1% of our overall revenues, guys. Try to do this stuff with a budget like that. I'm sure a lot of you have a lot more than that. That's not including business development and all those boondoggles. Kidding. That's just our out of pockets, okay, for marketing. So I talked a little bit about this in the, this basically says you have a little bit of bias, potentially marketers, researchers, we know what to do. We don't just ask our clients what they want us to do for them, right? We'll just do a survey with our clients and ask them where we should market, what publications they're reading. Someone asked that question here today, right? So there's a little bit of contradiction in that, a little bit of a paradox. So the other thing I want to go to is the notion of B2B and B2C. And I think there's a good lesson in this, okay? Some of you worked in B2C? Anyone? Oh, good. This is a big difference, right? And the points I want to make about this are, and first of all, I had to, who can come to New York and not mention Trump? Don. If your business is not a brand, it is a commodity. And we talked a little bit about that. As a marketer, and everyone's got different business models. I get your sample company, we've got to scale, we've got to do what we're doing. But if you really want to create a brand, try to not commoditize what it is you're selling and what you're doing. Try to convey somehow that there's going to be value at the end of this equation, right? Once we try to create that message, of course it's up to our client teams to improve that, but try to be in the business of not marketing a commodity, okay? And more of your value and your people. What your brand means, right? Brand's not a logo. The brand is the experience that everyone has with your company. Keep that in mind. So B2C, what can we learn? Gosh, when I'm hiring entry level, and there's been enough people who've come in the door, they're like, oh cool, we get to do Pinterest and we get to do social media, we get to do that. And we're like, hold on a second. Our clients are really sophisticated, MBA, you've got to have a gut for that. They don't need to know it all, right? But there's a difference between marketing in the trade and marketing to consumers, right? But on the other side of that, if they know social, and these millennials are doing it's really good because it's upping our game. It's forcing us to have an external personality, right? Not just talk about the methods and, all those other things that we know we come from in the industry. So that can actually be a very good thing. Your sphere of influence. Okay, we talked about this a little bit on the panel. We were a company, Midwest-based, automotive, this and that and the other thing. Okay, so our sphere of influence might have been that. How many of you have been there in the local chamber of commerce? It's like, oh, we want you to be a member, and you're like, well, we really, we work with people nationally and what have you, but you gotta balance that, right? But eventually you grow and beyond local, and then you start having a national presence. And all of us start small, right? We start somewhere. And then, before you know it, social media, blogging, events, market research event is bringing more international folks over to the US than ever. Your sphere is big. And we talked about the cultural nuances, okay? So, social and digital, we all know, I don't need to tell you, this is closing that gap. Finally, thank you. Global economy, right? Oh my gosh, what's happening in Greece, and everyone thinks in 2 more years we're gonna have a recession. We're all gonna feel it, right? And marketing is not necessarily going to change that, not traditional marketing. Universally accepted languages, we touched on that, nuances, okay? And the new face of America, multiculturalism, right? We've got to be able to market and to create these messages within this new industry, this new world, really. So, regardless whether you're B2B, B2C, social, sample company, large company, consultancy, I believe the one constant that will never change is storytelling. And yes, market researchers talk a lot about storytelling and how important that is, right? How we socialize information inside companies. Storytelling started way long ago, back in the Bible, I'm quite sure. It's a lot about stories, all right? If you, as a marketer, can find a way, I don't care what medium it is, right? A webinar. Some people brought that up today. Video, you know. Keep in mind, you have to find your story. You have to intrigue the people that you're working with, okay? I think our first webinar that we did, there's a Dr. Carmen Talon, she's PhD, and look her up if you don't know her, okay? She wrote a book on how to get them, like how to get them at hello. You know, in your first 9 seconds, you're gonna lose your audience if they don't like what you're saying. You're busy, we know this, okay? Great, great book, read it. But you've got to be able to tell a story because people will not remember necessarily your tagline. We all have them. 3, 1, 2, 3, right? People may not remember, you know, an ad. Oh, God, those things are so expensive, you know? But people will always remember if you tell them a story and it resonates with them, right? And I would say you should kind of have some sense of humility inside that story. So this brings us to heart, all right? So I kind of came up from the love of marketing. I hope all of us in the room do what we do because we love it and we're in passion for it. And I would be so bold as to say, if you really don't wake up every morning and know you're going to represent your people and you really love them, and it's not to say that every day is great, right? But those 2 people that you saw on that screen, they're new. One just came over from Segway Dell to rework with us again, Amy, young person. I believe in their message, and it's my job to make those people look, right? That wasn't easy. That was not easy, right, to create that little story through that video. No one knew what we were going to do. Had to fly to Washington, D.C. to work with one of the best editors out there that I know, who works for Al Jazeera Television right now. Didn't have a budget. I used to work with them in network news. I said, you got to do this for me. You got to do what you need to do. Sometimes you have to throw rabbits on hats as a marketer, because we all don't have the budgets we want, right? So your networking is key. So, audience, these are my pieces of advice now. You always have to know your audience. Know it and know it well. I don't care what medium you're going through, but you have to understand what are going to be their trigger points, what they're going to like, and you have to, on the flip side, know, oh gosh, what's gonna, you know, how are they gonna just go away and just zone out, okay? Know your audience. For me, I don't like to do anything in marketing before I do competitive intelligence. Do competitive intelligence and then do more. Completely know everything that you think you don't know. Or tell your people. Your CEO doesn't even know that people are on the periphery of your competitors. You look at them, you study them, and then 6 months down the road, do another study, okay? Because everyone's changing right now in this industry. Observe your competitors. What I really mean to say here is be in observance of your competitors, right? We're all in this together. Competitors, there's room for all of us, okay? Be in observance and honor your competitors. And by God, when you go to a trade show, if you do, apparently after today they're all dying, you talk and you get to know your competitors. They are your friends and we are in this industry together. And if you don't think they are, and if you think you have to put up a front, just try a little harder to understand what they're coming from. Okay? You never know when you're going to be with them and they're going to be with you, right? Rely on your instincts, okay? There's math, there's data, and instincts builds over time. We all know this. But as marketers and as creative people and branders, chances are you have something in there. Unless you're just doing database marketing, chances are a lot of you aren't, okay? And if you don't have the instincts, you find someone with creative instincts and get them on your team, okay? And then embrace your industry, love your industry. You don't get out. There's other industries out there. I know that sounds harsh, but you really do have to love where we're going. Don't wallow in where we've been as a market research industry, okay? Lastly, bringing it inward. What can you do inside of your organization? Know your people. Know them well. Know their hot points. Know their good points. Know if you've got someone who can't stand up in front of a room and command it. Who cares if they're vice president or blah, 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 and they want a speaking engagement. You gotta do the tough thing, and you gotta say no, or you gotta get yourself some good media training, okay? And as an organization, we have to give feedback, and everyone has to understand, it's not kind of working. I know he's a really good writer and a really good author, and he can write a great white paper, but he can't command an audience. Sorry, Camille, he can't go to the industry. He can't speak anymore, right? You gotta make those tough decisions, guys. Otherwise, you're not gonna be respected. They may hate you for the first 5 minutes, but they'll like you after an hour or years. So build trust, let the reins go. As marketers, sometimes I came in, they thought I had 2 heads. They really did. Why? Because I worked in the entertainment industry before. I didn't think they had 2 heads, and I waited patiently until they're ready to have creative people on their team, okay? Be patient. And they need to let the reins go, and sometimes you have to pick your battles, right? It's okay, great, we're not gonna go with that over creative concept. It's okay, maybe next time, you know? Know your leadership, important. You don't love your leadership, know them, have them love you as a marketer. When they trust you, they will allow that budget. When they trust you. And it's not always numbers. Sometimes it's just standing up for what you believe in as a marketer. It's really, really important, and just stay the course. Be well-rounded, know everything, know your periphery, do as much as you can, read brand channel, be on the CMO network, please just do it. Do it. We don't have time for everything else, but be aware of what's going on around you. Watch TED Talks too. All the time, Sunday morning, watch TED Talk. Get MVPs on your team. I've said this. Guys, sometimes market researchers, a lot of, in the past we've been building scalability and people and project managers and all that stuff. And I don't know if any of you know Tom Rath's book, Strength Finders. What are your 5 main strengths in an organization? Well, when we first did that exercise, because all of us in our organization know what all of our strengths are outside of every window, and we honor them because they're all valid and they're all really important. We should have mixed teams of people. So my first strength after I did this whole exercise, this whole book, was individualization. I'm like, what does that mean, that I like to work on an island? I'm not a team player? What does this mean? It means that I honor everyone's individual talents. And it's tough sometimes, and I, had a presentation where one of our heads of research said, oh, this person can do it well. Don't worry, she can do reports well. She can work with this person on a presentation. No, get MVPs on your team, okay? Get your specialists to design. Get your specialists of industry engagement. If you have and you can build a team, if you don't, go find the best freelancer out there and hire them, okay? And give them incentive to work with you. And lastly, are you selling services? I hope not. I hope you're building a legacy, whatever that looks like. Thank you.
Thank you. We just need a couple minutes to switch over to our next speaker.